Good morning, everybody. This is Jim McDaniel, the Marketing and Technology Director for URL. I'll be running our slide deck today for our May 8th COVID-19 insurance news and marketing update. As you know, insurance is an essential, life-sustaining business, and we will continue to hold these weekly webinars to update you on industry news, share marketing and sales concepts that really you can start using today. We're also obviously here to field any questions you may have. On the GoToMeeting control panel over on the right side, you can send us a question as we go through. We'll read any of those aloud at the end. And also, I'm going to flip over to our website here really quickly. And from our homepage here, you can click on this tab at the top right, and that's our take you to our insurance news archive. And from there, you can see the various newsletters that we put out. There's links to those. Any of the previous targeted webinars on life insurance sales, webinars, different things like that, business information for businesses, all those kind of resources you'll find on this page, and also archives of our newsletters and these webinars that we put on. There's another spot over here where you can put questions to us. We'll respond to you directly with those and may include them on this webinar. As we go through the presentation today, on the control panel, there is a resources tab where you can download, I think there's 5 PDFs up there that the different presenters will refer to throughout the presentation today. Please click and download those, and if you miss them for some reason, reach out and we can send them to you directly. But with that, we'll get started here. So on the call with us today, we have from Life Markets, Steve Clemens and Madalena. Karen's going to give us an update from Medicare offerings. Joe Corio from Annuity Solutions, and Deb Wilkinson has some good information for us from the Health Plan Options Department. So without further ado, Steve, take it away.
All right, thank you, Jim. Happy Friday, everybody. To all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day weekend. I'm excited today to bring some Life Markets updates and sales ideas to everybody, and have a couple nice things to do for traditional life insurance marketing. So let's take a look at our next slide. So when we're running life insurance proposals and we get calls in our Life Markets department for life insurance, we do a lot of spreadsheeting. So we'll get a call. I have this client, husband, wife, age 40, age 35, age 50, needs this amount of coverage, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million. So what we're going to say today and go through a few slides is don't settle for spreadsheeting. You know, open up that conversation with your clients and use a needs analysis sheet or an income-based selling process. You're going to provide better service for your life insurance clients and create larger sales opportunities as well. So it is a win-win situation. And going to the needs analysis and income-based selling, you may say, well, how do I do that? Well, good news is, if you're on this call, we have 2 handouts in the handout section that you can download and take with you and then put into use immediately after this call on your next life insurance opportunity. So yeah, so let's look at a couple stats as to kind of going into this income-based selling and everything else. So life insurance studies say 1 in 5 people with life insurance say they don't have enough. Why is that? Well, we're just spreadsheeting. We're guessing what they need. I want 100,000, $250,000, $500,000. Is that really enough? I don't know. Is it? And people cite replacing income as the top reason for owning life insurance. So let's use an income protection grid to help them protect that income. If that's the number one reason people buy life insurance is to replace that income when they're not there for their family, let's give you a tool that helps you show your clients how to do that effectively. And I like this, you know, again, it's Mother's Day weekend. Moms, dads out there, the cost of raising a child today, from age 0 to 17, your basic needs, a roof over their head, food on the table, education, all those things you need from 0 to 17. The cost of raising a child is $233,610. That's for a middle income family. That's middle market Main Street America. That's the cost of raising a child from 0 to 17. So that just puts it into perspective of what the cost may be. So let's take a look at a sample client. Here's our tools again as a handout. Obviously, you're not going to see this in great detail on the screen, but download these handouts. They're one-pagers you can use with your clients. If you see the income needs analysis worksheet on the left, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can put your name, your company name, your phone number, your email address, and your website on there and brand it to yourself. All right, so let's look at a sample client. I'm kind of dying for sports right now, so I use Drew Brees here as a 40-year-old guy. We're going to say he's in management, preferred health. Drew's in good shape. His salary is $84,000. Now, obviously, Drew Brees probably makes $84,000 a day, not a year. But in this case, this gentleman is making $7,000 a month. He's married with 4 young kids. Drew Brees has an 11-year-old to 6-year-old. So that's a pretty big family there. And he definitely is looking for life insurance to protect that family, and he needs to replace that $84,000 income. So what we normally get at URL is a call in saying, and let's look at the next slide, that I want to see quotes for Drew for $500,000, $750,000, and $1 million. And because he's age 40, we're looking at 25-year level term, taking him to age 65, I don't know, to near or around retirement age. Now retirement age is probably going to be 70, 72, whatever, maybe 75 by the time he's done, but we'll get him to 65 here with $500,000, $750,000, and $1 million. Let's look at a couple prices. At Banner Life, at a preferred risk at $500,000 is $51 a month. $750,000, you're at $74 a month, and at $1 million, you're at $93 a month. Drew is coming to you for advice. He's coming to you to say, how much life insurance do I need? So if you're not looking at a needs analysis, reviewing that with him, or doing an income replacement grid, we're just throwing darts in the dark. We don't know where we're going. So let's take a look at the next slide and what we can do. So the one idea is using the income protection grid. And if you look at the grid and you go to his monthly or annual salary and you look at his need for 25 years on that grid, it'll show to protect that income for a 25-year period, Drew would need roughly $1.7 million of life insurance. That's a lot more than $500,000. So when we look at $1.7 million for 25 years, our monthly premium is $157 a month. That's a pretty easy tool to use to give a client a picture of how much life insurance they need. And if he needed 20 years at that, says, well, my youngest is 6, that takes him to age 26, I feel pretty confidently that 20 years at 1.4 would be a good number. But that's a conversation you can have with your client. Let's look at using maybe a needs analysis grid. So using this needs analysis piece, I love this piece. We have it on our website at URL. You can use it online on our website, or like I said, print the handout out, grab it, save it, print it out for each of your clients. My wife, God bless her soul, she stays at home with our 3 young kids. She taught elementary ed for 12 years. She's not a financial planner or a life insurance person or somebody in the financial sector. I had her go through this on her own. She said it's very simple, very easy to use, and without anyone's help, she kind of went through it and saw what the need may be for her, for our family, etc. So you go through this, you go line by line, and it's going to calculate what you need. So in Drew's situation, we put in $15,000 for final expense needs. Outstanding debts currently at $25,000, which car, credit cards, etc. A mortgage of $300,000. College funding, it gives you a calculation for college funding if you're looking at maybe a state public education college or a private school and the differences between the two costs. So we looked at the 4 kids in college through a state
school program at a little over $500,000 for college funding needs. So a total lump sum with that of $861,000. Also replacing income of $84,000 for 25 years. So we see the need there kind of going down the line, less his current investment capital of $175,000 in his 401k and savings, his existing group life insurance of $25,000. His total need after doing this needs analysis for just a couple minutes, we're showing just shy of, a little over $2.1 to $2.2 million of life insurance need. So again, another great tool to really put things into perspective, and your clients are completing this with you. You're providing it to them, walking through it with them for a couple minutes, and they're telling you what their need is. They're saying, this is my mortgage. Yes, we want to help our kids go to college if we can, and if life insurance, God forbid I'm not around to work, I want my kids not have to worry about that, so they put that need in. So they're going through this program with you and creating their own life insurance need. So let's go to the next screen. So here, if we wanted to do $2.2 million for 25 years, the monthly premium is now $202 a month. So next screen. All right, so again, in summary, if we looked at just the top level $1 million of coverage, which, as we can see, based on Drew's income and his need, is far less than really he should probably have. Again, 1 in 5 clients out there who have life insurance are underinsured. If we provided him $1 million of coverage without really doing any due diligence, we would find he's underinsured. That would be $93.83. If we went with $1.7 million, just income protection for 25 years, it's $156 a month. And through the needs analysis at $2.2 million, we're around $200 a month. So again, we're providing more value to Drew and his family by really setting this up and doing a good job for him. And that's a win for him and his family. It's a win for you because we're showing your clients more value in what we do as his agent, and providing an opportunity for you as an agent for a larger sale as well. So let's go on to the next screen. So another way we can look at this is ladder coverage. And I like doing this. Banner Life makes it very easy to ladder coverage, meaning he may want the $2.2 million, but that $200 a month premium might be stretching it. He might be worried about his job with everything going on right now and with COVID-19. Drew may say, hey, I need $2.2 million, but I don't need it for 25 years. My youngest is 6. So let's get my youngest to age 21, 15 years at $2.2 million. And then let's drop the coverage a little bit more, about $600,000, till the mortgage is paid off in 20 years. And then the last 5 years, let's keep it at $1 million. You still have conversion privileges. You can still get some permanent insurance. But by laddering that coverage and those automatic drop-off periods, now our premium for $2.2 million is $162 a month. So again, customizing that coverage based on your client's needs and their family needs. So that's the benefit of laddering coverage. Next slide. So again, in conclusion with that, download the income protection grid from this presentation, the needs analysis worksheet, put it to use, and you're going to find that you're going to do a better job for your clients, and you're going to start creating larger sales for yourself. Rewarding you for business and life insurance, May is Disability Income Awareness Month. Joey did a great presentation last Friday on that. We had our first disability income application come in for the month of May from Faith Durstein. I don't know if Faith is on the call, but congratulations. That application is in line for a $100 bonus right now, which is fantastic. So we also have, for new agents with the URL, in your first 90 days, we have some quick start bonuses, which range between $25 up to $200 per case. And Gemini Partner bonuses for our Gemini Partner agents is start at $100 per case. So for more information on our bonuses with life markets, please reach out to me after the call. Next slide. And this will be my last slide of the day for my portion. For those of you in the life markets department doing life market sales and life insurance sales or other markets, and you need some help and assistance, again, in all of our departments at URL, we have our Orion Concierge Referral Services program, where we see agents using Orion in life insurance is it may be our Medicare agents or our group health agents or our P&C agents that work with us that aren't really comfortable in a certain line of life insurance, and they need a little extra support, and they want to utilize URL and our services to help their clients with life insurance. We do a commission split on that case. We also see if you have a client in another state you're not licensed in and you need some assistance in that state because you don't want to go through the licensing process, we can assist your client there and do a compensation split as well. So we have those services. If you need more information on Orion, please certainly reach out to me. And with that, I believe I'm handing it over to my counterpart in life insurance, Matt Alina, for the final expense portion of the call.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. And again, happy Mother's Day weekend to all of you mothers out there. And for those of you who are not mothers, make sure you remember your mother and get her at least some flowers. So as we're going to probably learn here in the next few hours, in the next few days, certain areas of the states and certain states are finally opening up for business. While certain areas here in Pennsylvania, we find out that certain areas are opening up for business, we're also finding out that there are certain areas that are not going to be open for business, and it may be another month until we are opening up for business to go into what they call a yellow category. So it's getting to a point where instead of it being a difficult time, it's becoming very frustrating. So how do you stay positive during COVID-19? So I went to the CDC website, and they actually had a thing here called Be Kind to Your Mind, tips to cope with stress during COVID-19. Step number one is to pause and breathe. Notice how you feel. So make sure you're breathing. Make sure you just take some time to kind of regroup and focus on what you want to do and just focus on some happy things. Number two, take some breaks from COVID-19 content. I will say that the last 2 weeks for me, I have not turned on news at all. It's been Netflix for me and my wife. I just don't want to know. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm sure a lot of you are tired of hearing about it. I just want to get back to normal. So just let me know when I can get back out of the house and go to work in the office or to go out and see people. Number three, make time to sleep and exercise. I don't know about you, but on a cold, rainy weekend like we're going to have, it's not going to be difficult to sleep, but exercise is going to be difficult. But make sure you're taking time out for you. And then number four, reach out and stay connected. This is where, as brokers in this business, we have people that we can reach out and connect with over phone or video conferencing. There are people that we should be checking in on. We have taken on the responsibility of insuring their families, insuring their lives, whether it's for health insurance or life insurance. Reach out and see how they're doing. That is going to go a long way with clients. You're going to get referrals out of that. So reach out to people. And if you need help, number five, seek help if you feel overwhelmed or unsafe. If you feel overwhelmed or unsafe, let's just address the overwhelmed part of it. We're here to help you. If you need help with your business and in marketing ideas, how you can generate some revenue, we're here to help you with that. We're keeping an eye on the things that are going on in the industry. So if you're looking to get some ideas on what you can do to stay busy, things that you can do to prepare yourself for when your area opens up, or even if your area is not going to open up for a while, we have the tools and resources available to help you keep going. So seek help. We're here to help you. Next slide, please. We have our COVID-19 Final Expense Toolkit. I am the Final Expense Manager here at URL, and we can get you access to fresh leads, whether it's live transfer, telemarketed, direct mail, or social media leads, and we subsidize your lead expenses based on your production. We'll get into that in a little bit. I will speak towards leads. The leads are, people are responding to leads, whether it's live transfer leads, telemarketed leads, or even the direct mail leads. People are responding. People are home. Agents are still ordering leads, but there are a lot of areas that you can still target, and you can get some fresh clients out of that. Now, how you sell and how you talk to them and how you sell to them is going to be a little bit different, because in a lot of areas we're still prohibited from doing face-to-face sales, but we do have sales scripts for doing telesales, and we also have sales scripts for setting appointments. We have competitive carriers in our Final Expense Toolkit, competitive carriers that allow you to sell over the phone. We also give you access, when you partner with URL, we give you access to technology, whether it's an online quoting tool or the consumer quote engine, which is like an agent landing page or a website landing page that you have. And we also have the links and application worksheets that you can do over the phone with your clients. For those of you that are not in the final expense marketplace, I'm speaking more towards the Medicare agents. We do have some nice cross-selling letters that you can send out to your existing clients to talk to them or set up an appointment or a conference call to talk to them about life insurance, whether it's final expense or traditional life. P&C agencies, we also have letters for you as well as postcards. Feel free to give me a call. My direct line is 717-216-8041, or shoot me an email, and we can get some of those letters and postcards and any of the things that you need in this toolkit. I can help you with that. Next slide, please. I want to talk real quick about our lead programs, and every week I usually will have some kind of slides alluding to our leads that we have available. If you're looking for fresh clients, fresh exclusive leads, we have direct mail leads that run anywhere from $440 to $500 for a 1,000-piece mailer. We also have verified tele leads at $25 a lead, 10 lead minimum order. These leads are, again, exclusive. I'm going to be talking to you in just a few minutes about Facebook leads and the program that we're going to be rolling out here in the not too distant future. Right now, if you wanted to order leads, they're about $30 a lead, 20 lead minimum order. We also have basic tele leads that are between $10 and $15 per lead. The difference between the verified tele leads and the basic tele leads, verified tele leads is a US-based company, US-based callers, and they take the call a little bit, they do a little more fact-finding, where the basic tele leads, it's not a US-based company, not US-based callers. They work, but they just don't take it to that extra step. And then in the next slide, you'll see that we have a new lead option, which is live transfer leads. One of our agent partners in the Philadelphia area turned me on to this company. They're about $35 to $38 per qualified live transfer. Now you get to determine your targeted demographic, whether you want to do it by county, by city, by the entire state. You do get to name and make your own schedule. You're not doing any cold calling. Even if you get like basic tele leads or the verified tele leads, you're doing cold calling because you have to actually pick up the phone and kind of reintroduce yourself. Where the live transfer leads, they're introducing the lead directly to you. It's a warm handoff. And it really gives you the opportunity to focus on closing sales. There are no contracts, and it is a US-based company, so you're not dealing with some of those language barriers. Next slide, please. So as we're talking about the different costs that are associated with purchasing leads, URL Insurance Group helps you with subsidizing those lead costs. And during the month of April and also during the month of May, we're doing a lead subsidy stimulus. So normally we give Gemini partners $80 for every $1,000 of placed annualized final expense premium each month, where standard partners get $50. Now we've bumped that up to $100 for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium, or $75 for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium. So to give you an example, if you did $5,000 during the month of April, in May, Gemini agents would get a $500 lead credit, and our standard agents would get a $375 lead credit. We're still paying out these lead subsidy bonuses and stuff like that. And so you can utilize one of our lead vendors if you want, or if there's a lead vendor that you're currently using and it's working well for you, don't change it. We'll make arrangements to still get that lead credit for those leads for you. Next slide, please. We keep hearing about social distancing and social distance selling. And there are two carriers that have been working very, very well and working diligently to help our agents with social distance selling. Those two carriers are Liberty Bankers Life and Royal Neighbors. And this illustration here, it shows there's an agent at the top of the screen, and they're working from home. Kids are at her feet, but she's trying to do some business. So she is responding to some leads, and she's contacting her leads. And on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you see that there's a client that she's speaking to, and she's doing some pre-qualifying questioning and make sure that, and just kind of explaining what a final expense life insurance policy can do for her and for her family in that time of need. And they do the pre-qualifying to make sure that she can qualify medically for the plan. And then they conference call in the carrier, whether it's Liberty Bankers or Royal Neighbors. So the agent is going to make that introduction with the client to the insurance company. The insurance company is going to ask a few of the medical questions. They're going to review the prescription drug records and the MIB, and then they're going to give you an underwriting decision. All of that's done within 15 to 20 minutes. Coverage can be made available that same day. Level benefit coverage is available, and these policies get issued same day most of the time. Sometimes there may be a little delay here or there, but most of the time, you're going to, when you get that client on the phone and they agree to apply for coverage, no paperwork is being done except you're filling out a worksheet just to kind of coach you along for the next steps. Conference call in the insurance carrier. The insurance carrier is going to give you the underwriting decision, whether they're accepted or rejected, and then you're on to the next sale. Your client is happy and they have the peace of mind knowing that they have the insurance coverage that they need. So that's two carriers, Liberty Bankers Life and Royal Neighbors, where they have a great three-way phone call, tele-app system that can help you with social distance selling. Next slide, please. There are other carriers that allow you to do telesales, and here's just a list of some of the carriers. Some of the carriers, you have to use the iGo application platform. Some carriers have their own e-app that's available as a link on their respective website. Some other carriers have phone applications as well. The best suggestion I have is give me a call, and I can help you with that and selecting the carriers and kind of coach you through the process with each of these carriers. But we do have a large portfolio of carriers available that allow you to do social distance selling, aka telesales or video conference sales, whatever the case may be. Next slide, please. So we have some upcoming life market events. This is kind of geared towards final expense, but you can tweak some of these things to work in the markets that you are in. Coming up Monday, June 1st at 10 o'clock Eastern, we have our Final Expense Monthly Monday webinar. That's where we talk about final expense business, things that are happening, trends in the business, successes, challenges, as well as we highlight some of the various carriers within the industry and things that they're doing, things that might benefit you, your clients, and your business. And then another thing that we've been talking about here the last few weeks is that we are going to be doing an exclusive URL training for and it's going to be on Facebook marketing and advertising. We're looking at a date of Wednesday, June 3rd. Details are coming soon. This is going to be exclusive to URL contracted agents. So stay tuned for more information on that. But we're going to be showing you how you can save thousands of dollars on and cutting out that middleman in setting up Facebook marketing and advertising, and how you can do it all on your own. So stay tuned for the information there, but just kind of have a jot down on the calendar, Wednesday, June 3rd, more information is coming. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you Karen McDaniel. Happy Mother's Day, Karen, and take it away.
Thanks, Matt. And happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers, grandmothers out there. You can go to the next slide, Jim. So after much back and forth from the carriers, announcements, retractions, CMS has finally announced that there is a special election period for any of your Medicare beneficiaries who have been affected by the COVID-19, where they had an election period, but they missed enrolling into a Medicare plan. So this will allow them a one-time attempt to, it'll allow them one-time enrollment into a Medicare Advantage plan or prescription drug plan. Next slide, please. So who's eligible? Anybody who is residing or resided at the start of the incident period in the area, which FEMA had declared an emergency for the COVID-19. If they had an election period, such as they were in their initial election period for Medicare, if they had another special election period due to loss of group health coverage, and if they did not use that election period because they were in the hospital, or they just, with everything going on, they just kind of forgot about it, let it go by the wayside, this will give them the opportunity to go ahead and make that election into a new plan. Next slide. Impacted areas, every state in the union, any tribes, territories, and including the District of Columbia. The one thing that CMS wanted to make clear was that this is not an opportunity for you to market to Medicare beneficiaries. So you can't be sending out any emails, you can't be doing any direct marketing saying, hey, listen, you didn't make an election period, now's your chance to make that change. This is just really for your information, that in case you do get a phone call from any of your clients and they bring it up to you that, hey, I forgot to do this, just so you're aware that they do have this special election period. You can go ahead and try and help them out with enrolling them into a plan. Next slide. So if you do have a beneficiary that comes to you and they need to enroll, you would just fill out the application just like you normally would, either on the phone or over the internet, or if you can mail in, you can use the code SEPDST, so Special Election Period Disaster is what that stands for. The time frame is effective right now, and it goes until June 30th. So you can have, so anybody that comes to you from now until June 30th, you can go ahead and try and enroll them into the plan. The enrollments will be effective the first of the month after the application has been processed. So if you process an application in May, it'll be effective in June. If you process one in June, it'll be effective in July. Next slide. So this, all of the information about the SEP is available as the handout. It's the CMS COVID-19 SEP PDF. Another thing is Medicare scams. Unfortunately, seniors can fall victim to scams any other time, and now, unfortunately, people are taking advantage of it. And here are a couple of the recent scams to watch out for. Robocalls offering masks that they'll never send, social media posts seeking donations for non-existent charities, or they're claiming that they're going to give the beneficiaries stimulus funds that they entered in their bank account information, and fake testing kits or cures or immunity pills and offers for protective equipment. So make sure that you're letting your clients know that these scams are out there and that they're not real. Medicare is never going to call them and ask them for any kind of credit card information. Medicare and no other than like their doctor's offices, who they should have a good relationship with and should already have a lot of information on file, nobody's going to be calling and asking for their Medicare numbers. Next slide. So yeah, if anybody reaches out for Medicare number or personal information, it's a scam. Next slide. So we had a really successful couple webinars with 2 of our top agents that are available on demand that you can watch anytime. And to round out the webinar series, my beautiful co-director, Christy, is hosting a live top agent panel on Tuesday, May 12th at 10 a.m. I believe it's her and 3 or 4 of our other top agents who are going to be discussing how they have been handling the COVID-19 pandemic and how their clients are feeling about it, how they're marketing for it, how they've marketed in the past. So be sure to join that on Tuesday, May 12th at 10. That's it for me. If you have any questions for myself or anybody else in the Medicare department, there are mine and Christy's information. And with that, I will hand it over to Joe Collier, who is our Senior VP and Head of Annuity Solutions.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to give you a few annuity updates here that we focus on the financial world. Jim, if you could do the slide. Okay, back in March 27th, the CARE Act was passed and signed into law, and there are several important retirement-related provisions in that act. And because some of these provisions are confusing, there have been several misconceptions about the new law. So I just want to talk about some of the top misconceptions. The first one in it is that everyone is eligible for corona-related distributions, which are CRDs. This is actually a myth. Not everyone is eligible. Actually, if you want to take money out of your IRA or your company 401k, you must meet some eligibility requirements. And they are either you have to be diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus, and that has to be diagnosed by a test approved by the CDC, or your spouse has to be diagnosed with the virus. Or another reason you could qualify would be you experience adverse financial consequences on account of either being quarantined or being furloughed or laid off or having your work hours reduced, or maybe you're unable to work due to lack of childcare, or you had to close or reduce hours of a business that you owned or operated. So not everyone is eligible. You have to meet some of those requirements, which I just mentioned there. The second misconception is that a coronavirus-related distribution must be allowed by your employer, and that is not true. You might meet one of the requirements that I just mentioned, but that doesn't mean that your employer's plan has to allow a withdrawal. So you need to check or have your client or prospect check with their company HR department or the plan administrator to make sure that they are allowing withdrawals. The third misconception is that CRDs are tax-free. That is not correct. If you are under age 59 and a half, your CRD is exempt from the 10% early distribution penalty. However, the CRD is generally subject to federal taxes. Now, there was one provision of the law that does allow you to spread out the federal income taxes over 3 years. And in some cases, you could even avoid the tax if you pay it back. But this is not a tax-free distribution if somebody pulls money from their IRA or 401k due to COVID-19 situations. And the last misconception is that any required minimum distribution, or RMD, received in 2020 can be paid back. The law, the CARES Act, provided that if you did not want to take a required minimum distribution in 2020, you didn't have to. Unfortunately, that came out right in the beginning of January. So if you received an RMD in January, you can't pay it back, unfortunately. Now, if you received one in February, March, or April, there is a possibility, depending on when you received it, that you could pay it back through a rollover. That gets a little complicated. I'm not going to go through that here. If you want more information on that, you can contact me. But basically, if you took one in January this year, you're too late to pay it back or roll it over. So those are the misconceptions that I wanted to clear up. Now, on the other side of the coin, there are some sales opportunities that the COVID-19 virus has opened up for us. There are really, this says 30 million people, but it's really over 33 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits so far. So what does that mean? There's a lot of people out of work, a lot of people lost their jobs. Some won't go back, some will. Some will probably retire. But there's a lot of people out there who have 401ks who will never go back to that job. They'll either get a new job or they'll retire early because a lot of people at this point, they've been out of work so long, they're just saying, forget it, I'm not going back. I'm afraid to go back, so I'm close enough to retirement, I'm just going to retire early. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity going forward for IRA or 401k rollovers. So keep your eyes open for those. There is also a heightened awareness of the need for life insurance. Let's face it, over 70,000 people have died, and there's every day in the news they're talking about more and more deaths, not only in our states and our country, but worldwide. So death is in everyone's mind. And what happens when it's on your mind? You're thinking about life insurance. So there's more and more opportunities for life insurance out there than you think. So you just have to talk to people, and they'll probably reach out to you, but don't be reactive, be proactive. It's a great time to talk to people about the need for life insurance. And there's also a heightened awareness of the need for unforeseen medical expenses. Nobody thought 3 months ago we would be in this position where healthy people all of a sudden need medical expenses, or people who are getting close to retirement would have unexpected medical expenses. That's going to drain their savings. So it's a great time to cover life insurance and unforeseen medical expenses. And there's one product that does that, and it's the single premium life product. It has a death benefit in the event of death, and that death benefit can also be used for home health care or nursing home care. So this is a great time to approach people about those coverages because it's forefront in their mind. So it's going to be a lot easier sale right now than it was months ago. So keep that in mind. And of course, we have one more CE webinar coming up on single premium life. It's sponsored by Nationwide, and the next one is Thursday, May 14th at 10 a.m. If you don't receive a link from us inviting you to that, you can go on our website and register right there for the presentation. And it is a CE event, so you'll receive credit for sitting in on it for 1 hour. Okay, with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Deb Wilkinson from our health department to carry you home. Deb?
Thanks, Joe. Happy Friday, everybody. And to those that are now in the yellow counties, happy yellow day to all those 24 counties. You can go ahead and go to your the next slide, please. So Thomas Purcell usually does the legislative updates. He's not available today, so I'm going to fill in for him. As I mentioned, the Governor Wolf, Pennsylvania, did announce the reopening of 24 counties at 12:01 this morning. So traffic's a little bit more steady than it has been. The list of counties are listed below. They are in the northern tier of Pennsylvania. You can go ahead and change to the next slide, please. In the news also, as Thomas mentioned last week, there was Mark Scaringi, who was representing some Pennsylvania businesses that argued that Governor Wolf's shutdown of businesses and what were deemed to be essential versus non-essential was unconstitutional, and it went above the governor's authority. Of course, Thomas mentioned that went to the Supreme Court. That was heard and declined. So essentially, the Supreme Court said it doesn't matter. The governor, can do what he wants. Essentially, go ahead. Next slide, please. So for those agents that are living and doing business within those yellow counties, you can resume face-to-face meetings as long as the governor's guidelines are adhered to. Obviously, still social distancing, not more than 10 in a room. Virtual meetings are being pushed. Telework is being pushed as much as possible. But of course, if you do have an appointment in those yellow counties, then you are able to meet with your clients and they are able to meet with you. There is more information that will be available on the Pennsylvania Insurance Department site under the COVID-19 segment, and that, according to the information that I received, should be out there on Monday or Tuesday. Again, all door-to-door sales are prohibited. Can you go back for a second, please? And then also in the resources, there's safety regulations for businesses. Obviously, there's a roadmap of what you need to do as a business when you are opening up. So please check out that resource as well. Just on another note, Pennsylvania did have Senate hearings within our Commonwealth this week, and it was all about Governor Wolf's response and handling of the COVID-19 virus, and not a lot of fans in our legislature on how Governor Wolf handled some of this. Our Pennsylvania Senator John DeSanto is actually calling for the termination of the Labor and Industry Secretary, citing issues with unemployment, LCB, nursing homes. So I just wanted to make mention of that as well, because that is certainly going on right now. Okay, next slide, please. And we talked about this last week. Just a reminder regarding the COBRA emergency COVID-19 regulation. It does provide extensions for COBRA notices from employers to employees, extensions on election of COBRA from employees to employers or the COBRA vendor, and the extension of COBRA premium due dates. This does only apply to federal COBRA. It does not include mini COBRA. Go ahead, next slide. And there was, our labor attorney, Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney put together a back-to-work strategy for businesses. That is in your resource page as well. There's an additional link for a back-to-business kit. I think there's some pertinent information in that. I think that, for those of you on this call that work with businesses, or, well, most everyone works with some segment of a business. But it's really important, I think, to kind of review this, talk to your clients, forward to your group clients, because, something as simple as what back to work looks like. Does it mean, is everyone coming back? Are you staggering when you do come back? Are some people working Monday, Wednesday, Friday, others working Tuesdays, Thursdays, as simple as down to dress code. The next several lists are relative to compliance within, I see my numbers got messed up there. There are 10, this slide and the next, but there are information or regulations that you have to adhere to that all have to do with compliance. Next slide, please. One of the things is protecting your businesses from liability. What happens if someone is exposed on company property to COVID-19? What does that mean as far as risk to the employer? Challenges with compensation and benefits if, teleworking or reduction in hours, and communicating all of these effectively with employees. quite frankly, there is a compliance or a COVID-19 enforcement officer that should be, named for each business. So, it's that intricate and that important. So please check out that link and make sure that you're applying these yourself as well as applying them or getting this information to your group clients. Next slide, please. So this slide has been up for the last couple of weeks. Next week, it's coming to an end. Our Colonial Life rep, Dina McVicker, is offering to review your block and look for holes that may fit Colonial's products. But I wanted to throw that out just one last time, obviously, but I also want to kind of let you know that to come back next week, because we are working on some sort of incentive for some producers to get their groups into a Ben admin system that they're currently not in. So that's going to be a URL specific incentive for our agent partners. So come back next week and I'll give you some more information on that. And I believe with that concludes, and I'll hand it back over to Jim for questions.
Okay, we had a couple, only one or two questions come over this round. The one was just someone was interested in your leads, Matt, and I forwarded that over to you, the warm handoff leads. And Tony asked is Assurant now Sun Life? But,
yes.
Okay, good info. Well, thanks everybody for coming to our May 8th edition of the Insurance COVID News and Marketing Update. Hope you have a nice Mother's Day weekend, and appreciate your business, and thanks.